Hello guys!
Hello.
Welcome back to Finding the Tea with Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Wow. Did I
Z.
really just forget what we were called? Yes, I did. Oh well. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. Is this where I can secretly say that it's not actually 2021
Yeah, it's not
yet?
21. It's actually the 21st
Of December.
of December.
Oops.
We all might die tonight. We'll see. Stay tuned.
This is recorded posthumously.
Yeah, soon to be New Year's. When you hear this, it'll be New Year. So happy New Year, guys. How you all doing? So this
Hopefully better than this year.
literally, oh my god, hopefully it's better than 2020 because I might cry if it's not. But we're going into 2021 in lockdown anyway.
No, 2021's going to be 2020 the sequel.
No.
Literally.
For half the year.
Quite honestly, yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. I'm like, girl, it's not gonna just stop.
Yeah, it's not changing.
I am holding on hope that by July it's better, but I don't know. There's a second wave of the virus now apparently, so anyway.
Well, hun, we're entering our third wave in the UK, so...
So, because I know this will air in the new year, but, tonight is the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, and while Joey thinks we're all going to die, this is actually, essentially he's not wrong. Because...
Are you serious?
No, wait, I know that sounds weird, but let me explain. With the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction is basically a time of rebirth. The last time there was a planetary conjunction, the Renaissance era happened. So this is about a new era of thinking, throwing out old habits, and new beginnings. And also, I think the plague ended the last time there was a planetary conjunction like this.
I really hope so.
So essentially, it's a time of rebirth, a time to renew. So have a sliver of hope. Have a sliver of hope. It's gonna be okay.
I'll take that. We're all gonna be alright.
Is our ego gonna die then? So are we dying in a way?
Our old patterns of ourself are dying, and new intentions and new beginnings are coming to the light. But I digress. Sorry.
That's awesome though. I am excited.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. That's such a good way of looking at it. Instead of Joey just saying we're all gonna die.
You nihilist.
We have the pessimist
Listen.
and we have the
Nihilist.
optimist. Oh, I guess that's nihilist.
That's so ironic. I'm literally the most optimistic, in a completely delusional one of any of us, so I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's a listener who told me that you were too optimistic when I when I was talking to him.
I'm too optimistic, and I interrupt all of you too much. Those are our critiques.
Anyway, this week we are talking about body positivity because I think it's so important to talk about, especially at the beginning of a new year. So, firstly, I just want to ask everyone, because there's not a set answer for this. What is your view on body positivity? What is it to you? So, Val?
Body positivity is just being confident in the skin that you have now, and being, just comfortable as yourself and what you look like at the present moment.
Yeah. Joey?
Body positivity is being positive about your body.
Joey, body positivity is about being positive in your own body.
I didn't catch that. We cannot edit that out. That's funny.
Just put that part.
No. I wasn't laughing at Joey.
I know.
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know what the fuck he said.
I know. No one was listening
No,
to me.
all I saw was Chris's nose hairs in the camera.
Oh my god.
I just saw his nose. I'm so sorry. Back to the task at hand. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay. I knew you were laughing at that.
The level of unprofessionalism in the bottom row. Far too much.
Okay, Joey, do you want to give your answer again?
I want to go again. Okay, here we go. Here's my answer. body positivity to me is shedding all of the programming that you have been inundated with your entire life, and shedding this mindset of all of us needing to look at exact same way, which is completely antithetical to the entire point of being a human on this earth. And it's just shedding all of that and loving yourself where you are and just embracing who God made you in this moment.
I like that.
Period. Body positivity is being positive about your body.
Literally.
Ooh. Body, yada, 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 yada.
Okay.
That's gonna be outdated by the time that we post this.
Literally. Ayana?
I feel like I stuck a whole baggie of these up my ass. I'm so sorry. Okay, but no, for real. Me personally, I'm more about, and I'm not trying to be biased or body shame at all whatsoever, but I am more about fat positivity than body positivity because, you know, the norm is, you know, an average body, whereas, you know, people who are fat, you know, they get shamed all the time. Like, it's nothing new. But the body positivity movement has become an umbrella term, really. But I'm more about fat appreciation. But I'm not negating from the whole idea, you know, if I'm making sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel as though there should be more appreciation about bodies that you don't see in the media.
Yeah.
But basically, it's all about appreciating the contrast of the human body.
Yeah.
And how the lengths it can go to and how strong your body can be, even when it's not the strongest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about you, Mitch?
I think it's looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, there is nothing that needs to be changed with me, and I am fine as I am.
Yeah, I like that
That's
too.
simple, but I think effective.
Yeah, I think we all have like quite similar ideas because to me, I'm very much like a Yana. Like, I think anyone can be body positive, but the movement was created by fat black women, like it was, and it's kind of been taken away to suit everyone. Whereas, like Ayana said, I'm more for fat positivity, but because anyone can be body positive, but the norm, you know, accepted body is a slimmer body. Like, fat people do get shamed. Thin privilege does exist, and fat shaming is not the same as thin shaming, although it was all wrong. So I do believe everyone can be body positive, but I think it's really, really important that we look at fat people more, for fat people to become more accepting of loving themselves. But yeah, go on, Joey.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I really think the end goal is definitely like fat acceptance and being fat positive, but I think it's really helpful to like get in with thin people because the entire reason why like the thin body is the ideal and why people are shamed for being fat is because even thin people feel like they're fat because they've been tricked into believing that like they're meant to be this stick thin thing. So encouraging everyone to accept their bodies, I think, allows like their shame and their like hatred of themselves not to bleed over into hatred of everyone around them. You know what I mean? Like, if they can love themselves, then they can stop caring about
yeah.
your
Put
body,
it this way:
you know?
who here, at one point in their life has wanted to lose weight to try and be more accepted? Because I know I have.
I raised my hand, but that didn't.
Yeah,
that doesn't
literally
work.
Everyone.
Like, Joe, do you remember that diet I did in high school? That and everyone hated me because of it.
I didn't hate you. I just felt so bad because I could see that like you weren't happy, and I hated it.
Yeah, it was quite awful. Can I elaborate on this, Becky? I'm not gonna take.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so basically in high school, my parents thought I was gaining too much weight, and they was like, "You're not gonna do anything about it, so we're gonna do something about it," and they put me on something called the HCG diet. And
I think I remember you talking about it.
Oh my god, it was awful. I had to inject myself with HCG for 2 weeks. And I had to take phentermine monthly. Phentermine is an appetite suppressant, and HCG is a pregnancy hormone that basically, after you have the baby, it burns the fat left over. But basically, I lost 26 pounds in a month, and it made me irrationally angry because I was only allowed to have 500 calories a day, and it got to the point where I stopped eating. I didn't want to eat anymore, and Um, like sometimes I would go days without eating. Like I'd forget to eat because I didn't want to eat anymore. And this was all for the sake of being slimmer, and losing weight. And yeah, everybody else was happy, but I wasn't happy because number one, I was hangry, and number two, this isn't the change that I wanted. I didn't want to go about it this way. But for the looks of others, I had to sacrifice my well-being.
I honestly think it's horrifying, the idea that you were forced onto something that you didn't even, like, it wasn't even your doing.
That is honestly, it's so upsetting to hear that, because exactly, like, it should be up to you what you want to do with your body. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you probably feel a lot, like, do you feel like a lot different about yourself now than how you did a few years ago? Like, do you look at yourself with more love or anything like that in comparison?
Because honestly, I feel like I love myself a lot more than I did when I was younger. Because yeah, I gained all the weight plus some back, but essentially, I'm happy about I like myself now. Like,
yeah,
and I've come to accept that this is my body, this is who I am. Now, mind you, like, I'm not negating from taking care of myself, but that doesn't mean I have to hate myself in the process, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's really important to mention right now, like how you said that you gained the weight back. 90% of diets fail. That is why they're so toxic, because it's like a cycle of going on this diet to lose weight because fatter bodies aren't looked at as okay. And then you lose the weight, you aren't happy with how low you go, and then when you finally do eat again, you put it all on again, and then you're in a big cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over again. I think it's just so sad that, like, people literally look at fat people and they go, you're unhealthy, you're not pretty, if you lost a few pounds you'd be so much prettier. And it's just like, okay, come on, like, what world are you living in?
Well, it's strange too, because I feel like they're living in this delusional world where they assume that you're like on like my 900-pound life, like eating like 10 Big Macs a day, when you're literally just eating like a normal human being. Like, it's like we really need to shift the narrative as far as like body positivity goes, to the idea that like we all have default bodies, we all have our own default body. And I know good and well that I do not eat better than many of my friends who are larger than me, and I know that it's just the way that like my default body was, that like I am insanely lazy and I eat horribly, and yet my body is smaller than like a lot of other people that eat healthy and do sports and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, maybe people can diet and exercise to get down to a certain weight, but like one person has to do a little bit of that to get to that point, whereas another person has to completely destroy their entire life to get to that point. And it's just insane that we expect that like no matter what needs to be done, you need to get down to this point, when it's just like, I think that's what body positivity and acceptance is the idea that like you have to love yourself where you are, because you only have one life, and like we're all different. Like, it's not about what we're doing. We're all just different by default.
What honestly a lot of people also don't realize is everybody metabolizes differently.
Yep.
So not everybody burns the fat as quick as everybody else.
Exactly. Well, going on from both of your points, like, it's really like important to mention how a lot of health problems can cause weight gain, like thyroid issues, chronic conditions like lipedema, lymphedema. Like, there's so many health issues that can cause weight gain anyway. And I also think it's really important to just mention now, before any of us forget if we don't like dive into it, that body positivity also, it's not just about how much you weigh. It's literally about if you've got a disability, the color of your skin. It's about everything to do with you as a person. Like, everything comes into it, and I think that's really important to mention, just in case we don't dive right in there.
I think it's also important to know that there's some people that might want to do lifestyle changes that end up making it so that they lose weight, not because they're not even trying to lose weight, but they're deciding that they want to eat healthier things, like more veggies and stuff.
Yeah.
And they could lose weight because of that, and I think that's totally okay. I don't think people should be bashed for losing weight if they do lose weight.
I don't think that people should be bashed for losing weight either. Like, I feel like if you want to lose weight because you feel like you genuinely be happier, then do that. But a lot of people like do lose the weight and they aren't happy. It's never actually how much they weigh, but with some people it is how much they weigh, and that's fine. But it's something like, I don't congratulate weight loss. when I see like a weight loss picture, like here I am after all this weight is gone, I think I understand that they want to be like, oh, I'm so proud of this, but I look at it like that is so toxic, because you're literally making everyone who's in a larger body feel bad about themselves because you're congratulating being in a smaller body. So I think there's two ways of looking at it. But like you said, if somebody was to make like lifestyle changes, like long lifestyle changes, and they did just want to like add a few more fruit and veggies to their diet or move more or something like that, you know, just to feel good, cool. But I think it's diet culture, like literally following a diet like, oh, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories a day. I'm going to limit myself to this, this and this, and calling foods like good and bad. Like, I think that's what's toxic about it. Like, I think there's a big difference between diets and lifestyle changes.
Yeah. I think losing weight should be a side effect and not the goal, because if you look at your life and you see, oh, I'm doing these things that are unhealthy, then like I should change them, and then you somehow lose weight because that's the way that your body responds to it, then great for you, I guess. But like but you should be paying attention to like the things as far as like what you're eating, not how much you're eating, and like and moving and stuff. And also about what you were saying about commenting on people's pictures and stuff. Could you imagine you lose weight, people tell you, oh my God, you've never looked better, and you know, okay, so they thought I looked awful, and then you gain it back, and then you have to think, oh my God, they all think that I don't look good anymore. Like, that's insane. I would never tell some, like, I really try not to congratulate people either.
Yeah, I totally agree with the idea of like not congratulating weight loss in that way. I think that if anything, you could say like, oh, looks like you've gotten stronger, or that kind of stuff. Like, saying stuff like that is, especially if you know they're trying to like work out, instead of saying like, oh, your body looks more pretty, because it's not necessarily true. Not everyone looks better in a thinner body. Not everybody looks better in a bigger body. It is about confidence journey and how you are confident in your own body. So yeah, I definitely don't agree with like weight loss, like pictures like before and after. The one comment I disagree with is that like I do think that there are like technically good foods and bad foods. There's ones with more GMOs in them and like more bad stuff in them, and like I don't think you should totally get rid of those in your life, but I definitely think you should try to like limit those consumption of like some of the badder foods as per se.
Yeah. I just think it's like the titles like saying, oh, this is good and this is bad food. Like I get what you mean, like nutrition like wise and stuff like that, but I think it's programmed into us from like kind of like a fat phobic mindset to label things as good and bad, because there's a lot of parents that will be like, oh, you can't have that because it's a bad food, or like when they like or when you're with your friends on a meal out and you're like, oh, I shouldn't eat this because it's bad for me, oh, I'm being bad today, I'm having this. I think that's just like a fat phobic mindset that isn't intentionally trying to be fat phobic, but it's just drilled into us.
All right, sorry to interrupt you guys, but I have to actually dip out. I have a appointment for getting some new birth control, so I gotta go. Yeah. All right, I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Go on, Mitch.
So, anyway, yeah, I was saying I think I have to disagree with you, because there is food that is... Don't look at me. Sorry. I can't look.
Nutrition-wise.
Yeah, nutrition, like... From a nutritional point of view, there is good food and bad food. Like a Big Mac is bad for you, and I think it's fine going to McDonald's and having, or like just walking into McDonald's and be like, oh, I shouldn't have this, it's bad for me, because it is bad for you in a way, because there's loads of saturated
That's quite
fat
rich coming
and
from
salt.
you.
Exactly, but I'm eating what I like, so if I want to eat lots of McDonald's, I don't care. But if someone wants to decide that it's bad for them, I don't think that's necessarily fat phobic. I think that's just them making a choice about what they're putting into their body.
But it's like I said, like to do with nutrition wise, I completely get it. But it's more so like there are common phrases that are like, oh, I'm being bad today. I'm gonna eat this today. I'm being bad today, which is kind of like shaming yourself for saying that you shouldn't eat something, but you are eating it. I just think it is like a programmed. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, Joey.
No, I think you are. I think you are because it's like, you know, if you're struggling with something, you're already struggling with it. And you don't also need to hate yourself in the process. If you're going to make those decisions, just like accept that you're making those decisions in the moment. Don't like hate yourself and be like, I'm being bad. Like, ooh, like, oh, I hate myself for eating this. Like, what? You're eating it. Like, what is the point right now?
Like, you shouldn't have to shame yourself. Like, yeah, fair enough. An apple is so much better for you than a Big Mac burger. But you're allowed to eat whatever the fuck you want, and you're allowed to enjoy it without feeling like you're being bad.
And like I mentioned earlier, I can sit here and eat a bunch of Big Macs, and it's not going to end up doing anything, but my body responds differently than someone else. And the only reason, I mean, I think it is fat phobic in literally the definition of the word. They're saying like, oh, I'm being bad because they're afraid of being fat. Like, it is them, like they are afraid of it, and they are beating themselves up in fear of it when like everyone's different. And I will say, we have, you know, we're living far longer than we've ever lived, and we are evolved past the point where like we all need to hunt or gather, and you know, we all don't need to be the most strong, like fit people in the world. And so I feel like we're at this point.
Sorry. You said hunt and gather, and I thought of caveman. I'm sorry. Continue, please. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just, yeah, like we're evolved past to the point where like being skinny is not the only point of life. And I feel like people have made that the holy grail of life. Like they just assume that like people really make that their entire life goal and then hate themselves their entire life because they never achieved it. And it's like, there's so many, it's like, you know, I love Jamila Jamil and her program of I Weigh, because it's like, there's so many other things in life to celebrate and to love about yourself and to focus on other than just your body. Like, what even is that? We're in 2020. Like, there are so many other important parts of life and about yourself to focus on. You know what I mean?
Preach. I feel like a lot to do with it is caring too much about what other people think. And I feel like once you start to realise that the only opinion that matters is your own about yourself, you start to change your ways and how you think. Like, a few years ago when I was like 15, 14, trigger warning, whatever, I had a really bad eating disorder, and like all you guys will remember it, I lost like so much weight, probably like 6 stone, which is like this 14 pounds in a stone if you're not from the UK, and that was in a very short amount of time. And even when I was really thin, I was still not happy, but everyone was congratulating me, especially at school. Like PE teachers would start to like me and stuff when I was thinner and I could actually do PE and stuff. But I was never ever happy. I still hated myself. So even though I was at my thinnest, people were congratulating me and saying how well I looked now that I was thinner. Obviously, you know, again, fat phobic instincts from a lot of people. That is what is drilled into us by the media and just by the public in general. Like, literally PE teachers were like loving me that I'd lost weight and stuff. Like, it disgusted me. But I was still never happy. And I still wasn't thin enough in my mind, because I just thought if I was going to be thin, I'd be happy, and then I wasn't. And then the last few years, I've proper started to love myself. Like right now, I'm the fattest I've ever been, but I am the happiest in myself I've ever been. And I love me, and I've got health conditions, but it's nothing to do with my weight. Like, I haven't got these health conditions because I'm fat, which is a lot of people try and hide their fat phobia with pretending to care about your health. And it's like, come on, you're fat phobic. You're not pretending to care about my health. You don't care. You're just uneducated and won't go and learn or actually accept people.
Well, you know, you're the happiest you've ever been because you're filling your cup with like genuine love. Like, you're trying to fill it with actually like loving yourself. And body positivity is all about self-love. It's about not trying to fill the void of your ego with the idea that like all I need to do is lose weight to be happy, because that's anything that you try and do that has anything to do with like the earth and like anything here is not going to make you happy. Like, nothing can make you happy. The only thing that can make you happy is like loving yourself in this moment where you are, and just knowing that right now is the only thing that exists, not some distant future where you're skinny and perfect. Like, that's a dream.
We literally need to start accepting ourselves and loving ourselves as we are, so we can change the media's point of view on what's good enough and what's not good enough with how people look.
Well, with the media, we forget that this is an industry. Like, the whole fat phobia. Fat phobia is a product of an industry created to make people hate themselves so that they buy their products.
Yeah, literally. This is why diet culture is so massive. God, diets and like fat phobia are one of the biggest topics in the media, in the newspapers, on the telly. It's huge. Like, this is why so many people are taking a stand on social media mainly, and like being activists for like body positivity and stuff like that. Because it's 2020 now, and people still feel like they have to all look the certain way. If we all ate the same stuff and exercised the same way, we're not all gonna look like each other. Like, we're never all gonna look like each other. What would be the point if we all what would be the point if we all look the same?
Exactly.
I'm literally getting so like, grr, and I'm just like,
you're so flustered.
Yeah, I'm like talking over my tongue.
But in 2020, it's even worse because of social media. I mean, obviously, like, there a few weeks ago, I had a really bad off day in the view of myself, and I searched once, being like, Brazilian butt lift. Like, I'm gonna take it from my stomach, put it in my ass. I searched it once, and then for a week, every ad on my Instagram story was that.
Yeah.
And all it was doing was showing me before and after pictures. And then I would get diet products and stuff shown me. Like, they are predators, and they are ruining. Like, I can't imagine, like, already the way that was before, what it's like growing up now with social media and people hating their bodies.
There's so much pressure to look a certain way, which is why I want to say now, I think it's really important that if you have social media like Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, go and find some body positive activists or influencers or whatever. Follow people that look like you,
like Bo Becky on Instagram,
and like Ayana's TikTok, because she's amazing too.
Oh my god, thanks. Also, just to interject, for all my beautiful babies out there who really get down and out about themselves when looking on social media and stuff, please remember, not everyone is going to show everything negative about themselves on social media. On top of that, comparison leads to misery. Just because like your perspective of somebody looking better than you, that does not negate from your validity of yourself.
Preach.
I've been unfollowing people on Instagram recently. Sometimes I scroll and I'm like, why do I even follow this person? I only follow them because their body to me is like impressive. Like, I have no other reason to follow them other than to hate myself. I'm like feeding it.
Literally. Comparing yourself is one of the worst things you can do, because you'll be like, oh, but why have they got this and I haven't got that? Maybe I should change this to look like that, and then I might just like myself that little bit more. Don't follow people that you are going to compare yourself to. You need to follow people that who don't fit the norm of society's beauty standards, and then you're like, oh, they're happy in who they are, I can be happy in who I am. That's literally how I became like self-loving. I followed loads of fat women on Instagram, and I was like, they look like they're loving life. They were preaching how they were happy, and I was like, maybe I can do that too. And literally, it's a massive community that now I love being a part of, and I love me, and I think it's so important to just share that with other people. Mitchell, are you going to say anything?
I don't know what to say.
How do you feel about yourself, Mitch, right now?
I want to lose a bit of weight.
Why?
Because I've gained a bit, and I don't like it.
Why?
Because I just don't like it.
And that's okay. Like, as long as you're doing it for you and nobody else, it should, like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
all that
I'm
matters,
I'm not
you know?
here to please anyone but myself.
Good.
Period.
Earlier in the year, I worked a lot during lockdown, and I was on my feet for like 10 hours a day, most days of the week, and like I lost a fair bit of weight, and I was like, to be honest, this is kind of the goal I was wanting to get to, and yeah, and I want to get back to there again because I've gained a bit over winter. But then I also look at myself and I think that's normal because it's winter, so you're not going to be going out as much. You're going to be like, I'm still eating the same. I am eating quite unhealthily, but I was back then as well. So I also am kind of thinking it's just like a byproduct of the seasons changing.
But that's another reason why it's so important to love yourself where you are, because like bodies fluctuate all the time. Like
Yeah.
people's like weight just goes up and down throughout their entire life, and if you're so focused on one specific version of yourself, then you're depraving yourself from the love that you can feel all the time.
All aspects of love.
I think there's a lot of people that might be listening right now, yeah, who aren't body positive and who do not like themselves. And I just want to say, like, all of us here at some point have not liked ourselves. And
Oh god, this is 22 years of work.
literally,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Oh no.
it doesn't, you can't just listen to this and then go, you know what, I love me. Because self-love and body positivity isn't just a one-day thing. It's a whole journey that's going to last your motherfucking life. And it's not going to be easy. And you are going to have ups and downs. I still hate myself on certain days, but that's completely normal. You can't love yourself every day. Like, you will, like, in your mind, you'll love yourself, but your mind can play tricks on you sometimes. So don't feel bad if one day you do feel bad, even if you're on a self-love journey.
It's definitely tied to mental health so strongly, because like on the days that I feel awful mental health wise, like I also hate my body.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
get that.
But I'm really grateful though for the young kids. I know I was talking about how awful social media is, but I am grateful for like people like Lizzo out there and to grow up with someone like that out there. I mean, and even Doja, I mean, she's still pretty skinny, but at least like the bodies are starting to be a little bit more representative of everyone, you know, like people are getting more
Yeah.
accepted.
I feel bad for Lizzo, to be honest, because everyone looks up at her for being this body positive queen, whereas at the same time, she's not here to teach us how to love us. She's not here to like teach us the ways, etc., etc. And the other day, like a lot of people were very angry and upset for her for like, she was like doing a detox diet on her Instagram, and a lot of people were crazy mad. But you know, she's just a human being at the end of the day. Like you can't be angry at her when it wasn't her initial lesson. It wasn't her initial act to teach people how to be body positive, you know.
I've just pulled up a post from her, and I think that it explains what she did well. Shall I read it?
Yeah, because I don't know. Inform me.
Becky, you've liked it, so you've already heard this, and you have Ayana as well. It was 6 days ago. She posted a selfie, and she is in her pants, like as in her underwear in America, doing a very nice pose, showing off her curves and things like that. I don't know how to describe it without offending anyone, so I'll just say curves, because I don't want to offend anyone.
We need to normalise the word fat, but carry on.
Okay, I just don't want people to be offended. Anyway,
I know, but well, let's just put it out there before you go. Fat is not a bad word. Fat is a descriptive word, and it's drilled into people that fat is a bad word, and we need to drill it into people that fat isn't a bad word. It's okay to be fat, and we're just describing it. It's just a descriptive.
but yeah, right. So the post reads, because this is after the backlash. She said, I detox my body and I'm still fat. I love my body and I'm still fat. I'm beautiful and I'm still fat. These things are not mutually exclusive. To the people who look up to me, please do not starve yourselves. I did not starve myself. I fed myself greens and water and fruit and protein and sunlight. You don't have to do that to be beautiful or healthy. That was my way. You can do life your way. Remember, despite anything anyone says or does, do what you want with your body.
Yeah. Well, it's like what I said earlier about like, if your goal is health, and then that's great. Like, do things to make yourself healthy, but don't do anything to like strive to lose weight, which is what she's saying of like, you know, like I'm still fat regardless of if I try and be healthy, because everyone's body's different.
Let me preface, I appreciate all and every body type, right? But I have been seeing thinner girls on TikTok pushing their stomachs out, pushing their stomachs out and saying, oh, normalized bodies, when they're literally forcing themselves to have a punch.
Oh my god, is that a trend?
Oh my god, yeah, and they're also
It's all over Instagram as well.
yeah, they're basically some people are basically pushing the limits and saying they're plus size as well by forcing the punch out of their stomach, and like, you know, yeah, everybody has rolls and curves and stuff like that, but you are negating the struggles of people who are actually plus size and being shamed for their natural bodies, and that has infuriated me because I'm like, You see how your body is normally. Why are you forcing yourself to put a pudge out? Like, what are you doing? Stop.
Literally.
It's almost like it's like derailing the whole movement
Completely.
thing.
You can't put on the struggles of a people whenever you want to talk about it and then just take it off and go back to your regular life.
It's like they're like, pick me. It's like that kind of attitude.
Pretty much.
They already have accepted bodies, so why do they need to be in... Why do they have to make it a trend when it's not a trend? Do you know what I mean? Like, literally how you said, it's literally taking it away from fat people who actually have to live in a fat body every day.
But then again, as like a side note, I think obviously body positivity did originate, as you said, Becky, from fat black women. I think that it incorporates like everyone now is a kind of a good thing as well, but not in that sense, not in that regard, not at all, because they're forcing it. But like me, for instance,
I think maybe their intention was good.
You never know with people on the internet, but anyway.
Wait, intention with what?
With this, in the sense of being like, we need to accept, like, I guess it's like what I was saying earlier, that if they can accept their bias, then they stop hating everyone else. I have not seen these TikToks. Let me go ahead and say that.
Yeah, me neither.
No, it's okay. I definitely have. TikTok knows I'm fat. But I want to include everybody to appreciate their body. I do. But please don't negate from the body types that literally have to struggle with stigma.
Literally.
You know?
But like, what I meant from it was that, like, I think it's good that, like, other people get to be included in this movement as well, because there's people like me and people like Joey. I kind of want to say we're not skinny, but we're not fat. We're like, we've got a little bit of chub. We're a bit chubby. Sorry, Joey.
No, that wasn't.
Okay.
No, that wasn't.
You didn't...
But
Hold
like,
on, wait,
I think it's good to like
We literally just have like
a tiny bit of chub, but still.
Smaller than average
you
buys.
don't have to say sorry for being chubby. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that was just
yeah,
harmless
literally
comment.
you just apologized in our body positive episode.
Yeah,
for
sorry,
calling me a
it's
little
like-
bit fat.
I know it was a harmless comment, but it's just it's
It's because
literally
it's drilled into me. That's how,
yeah,
like,
literally.
yeah.
Does that hurt you? This is a genuine question. When you hear someone do that, right?
It is
does that
hurtful.
hurt
It is
you?
hurtful because it's like saying, "Well, I'm sorry that you're a little bit chubby, but
It's because
And you're
I have-
standing over there like,
it's because
wait,
for our-
hello,
for-
I'm a fat woman."
Yeah, it's because for our listeners, we can all see each other, but you can't see us this episode. And Joey pulled a face, and I thought he was offended at it.
Oh no. My face was in response to like I knew that's where we were going with this conversation of Becky being like,
Oh, okay.
how you gonna say that to him?
But yeah, like, I take from you, Becky, because obviously we're such close friends, and I think with many things our ideologies line up. I think that you have taught me through your Instagram posts, which you forced me to like and save every single time, even though I would have done it anyway. And just like your general attitude to life and things, I think you train me to be happy. Well, happy in myself and comfortable in myself. But then, like, yeah, that's the point I was getting at. You make me want to feel, depending on what day it is, happy and comfortable in myself, which is like, I think, a side effect of you promoting body positivity to fat people. You also preach this positivity to people who might be accepted into society in that way, if that makes sense, because they are skinnier, but they might feel uncomfortable in themselves.
Yeah, I try.
It just sucks that you have to teach your oppressors how to not hate themselves so that they don't hate you.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
With what you said though about his comment to me, I feel like our generation gets a lot of flack for this idea that we're all snowflakes and that like we want everyone to create safe spaces and like all this shit. And it's like, we're not weak for deciding that we don't want to hurt everyone around us for no reason anymore. Like it is not weak for us to learn about what hurts people and attempt to not do it.
And as well, we wouldn't have to create safe spaces if these oppressors weren't oppressing groups of people for the way they are.
We're just undoing the previous generations.
A lot of rewiring.
Yeah, exactly. It's really sad to say, but this, honestly, there's so much fat phobia, racism, homophobia, transphobia, everything else in the world that so many people still think are okay, and we're trying to drill it out of them and teach them that it's not okay, and everyone should be accepted for who they are, because at the end of the day, it's how you are. Everyone should be able to love themselves without having to feel like they need to change for anyone, or to fall into place of any category, or to be accepted by any beauty standard, because it's just so wrong. Like, everyone's an individual for a reason. Everyone was born this way for a reason.
Yeah. And as I said in the mental health episode, like, you as a human being on this planet have the right to be happy and to love yourself and to have an incredible life. Like, and it doesn't matter any of like the labels that are put on you. Like, you still deserve happiness. And it's just crazy to think that, like, we put all this shit on everyone around us and feel as though, like, unless you're living this specific life and this specific body doing these specific things, that, like, you're not worthy. And that's insane.
I also feel like I don't know how to describe this, like, your relationships as well that you have around you influences how you feel about yourself. Because, like, well, Becky, I'm going to use you as an example.
Go on.
Like, obviously, we're close and we talk a lot. And before you were in a relationship, you would talk, you'd start to build up relationships with individual guys. Obviously, not at the same time. And, like, then things would fall out of, like, you'd fall out of touch with them and you'd stop talking. And I remember when I'd visit you, you'd be, like, blaming that on yourself, and you'd like try and blame it on the way you are or your weight or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's not you. It's just the fact that you're just not compatible. And now that you actually are with someone that you're compatible with, I think that has helped your, like, journey.
Definitely.
Because, like, he also teaches you that you can be loved for who you are and as you are now.
Yeah.
But I think it's because she already loved herself. I feel
I was
like
about to
seeing
say.
Becky, it's like you just mirror what's inside on the outside.
but
And
then-
like someone's finally telling her that she's beautiful and perfect because she believes that she is.
But I do feel like, as well, you did have your down days when you were single because of what those things that happened. And I don't know now, but you won't experience that feeling anymore because you have someone who loves you as you are.
Yeah, I get where you're both coming from. Like, I feel like you don't need anyone to love you to validate the love that you have for yourself. I feel like you should love yourself before you fall in love with anyone else.
Exactly.
And I do feel like with men, I've had a very bad livelihood regarding men, so
Track record.
yeah, so men do have a big impact on me with how I felt about myself, and I do have a lot of self-blame, etc., because of things in the past. But the more love that I've grown for myself, the stronger I am as a person, and the more I realise it's not me, it's them. Oh God, what is it that's saying, yeah, that is actually really fat phobic, but people don't realise it's fat phobic? Like, when you dress a certain way that's accepted to your body type. What am I trying to say? Flattering.
Oh, yes.
Flattering. Oh, God. When people are like, oh, that's not flattering on you, or that's very flattering on you. Little comments like that are very fat phobic in itself. So you can tell a lot from a person by what they're, if they say things like that. But again, they're not trying to be fat phobic, probably. It's just drilled into them. But it really does depend a lot on who you're around. So it's like I said, going back to go follow people who look like you and who aren't the norm of accepted or beauty standards on social media and stuff. Like, it can really help how you feel about yourself. Honestly, it kind of really does. So after the whole chat, which, I mean, it has gone very back and forth, but I think it's really good that we've actually all, like, had a say and stuff about it. I think I'm really sorry if I've rambled on. It's just something I'm very, very passionate about. Like, obviously, like, I love the whole body positive scene, the self-love scene. Like, everyone can love themselves, but I think it's really important to concentrate on people that, don't have that much acceptance in society.
And also just having the conversation with them, you know, like I feel like body positivity and fat positivity are like ideas in society, but I feel like people aren't actually at the forefront having these conversations. Like even like Lizzo, it's not like anyone, and not that it's her plate, like it's not her responsibility to talk about this, but no one's actually talking to Lizzo and being like, what is so important about body positivity? What do you want young girls to know? Like no one's even asking her those questions. Like they don't want to talk about it. It's so taboo, and it's just crazy because we can't move society forward unless we're willing to have those conversations.
Literally. Like, it's so important to have them conversations. Like, so, like, obviously, like we said all this episode, everyone deserves to love themselves. Like, slim people, you are allowed to love yourself so much, but you are accepted more in society. And that's just kind of fact. Like, you are the beauty standard. You are accepted more than people who are...
They're dealing with hating themselves but being accepted by society, whereas a lot of other people are dealing with hating themselves because they're hated by society.
Yeah.
It does suck that the body positive the body positivity movement is at this moment kind of headed up by like this skinny girl like Jamila Jamil.
Honestly, yeah, please go and, like, Mitch, Joey, go and look what, like, Ayana and me were on about before with the whole slim girls poking out their bellies to, you know, go and have a look, because it honestly so pisses me off.
Yeah, do you follow I Weigh?
Yeah.
That's run by Jamila Jamil.
Oh, I do follow her then, probably.
Even though she is skinny, she's on, like, the reverse side of body positivity. Like, she forced herself to be, like, anorexic pretty much as a result of society's beauty standards and things.
Oh.
And then now I think she's using her platform to give plus size people a voice, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I do follow her, my bad.
Well, that's why like diet culture is such a slippery slope, right? Because even if you lose a bit of weight and you're at a place where like you consider yourself healthy, it's never enough. Like you start trying to fill this void where like if you start trying to focus on gaining happiness from losing weight, then you can go ahead and like completely spiral into just like losing it all and becoming anorexic. You know, like even people that are skinny are not happy with their weight because society thinks that all fat is awful. Like they think it's like you're not even meant to have it on your body at all. Like if society had its way, everyone would just be bones. Like, so it's like we cannot base our worth on something like that because I don't think anyone believes that like, ooh, this body is perfect. You know, like I don't think anyone does.
Literally, your worth cannot be based on how you look. It will never be based on how you look, even though that is how society is trying to make people feel. Factually, it should not be like that. And that's just kind of how it is. I want to end this on one question, right? And we'll try and not make this question go massive, right? But do you feel like you can be body positive and lose weight? Ayana, you go first.
Yes. The reason why I feel like you can be body positive and lose weight, because essentially I feel like you can appreciate your body at every point in your life. Does that make sense? You know? And it's not, and as long as you're not shaming anybody else, like if you want to take care of yourself, well, you're supposed to take care of yourself, you know? And if you want to lose weight, that's fine as long as you're doing it for you, but make sure you're not putting other people down in the process and be like, only lose weight for you, only lose weight if you want to, you know, you're not obligated to look a certain way.
Exactly. I love that. Okay, Joey?
I think it's just like what I said earlier, that like if it's a side effect, then yes. You know, if you're trying to make decisions that make you feel better, have more energy, all that, then and then you lose weight, then okay. But if your goal is to lose weight so that you feel better about your body, then you're not being body positive, you know?
Mitch?
I think yes, because I don't know. I don't know, that's made me think. I genuinely don't know.
It's okay if you don't know. You don't need to have an answer for it.
What do you think, Bex?
See, I've been like, I've in the past I've thought, yeah, you can. Then I thought, no, you can't. But at the end of the day, I think you can, as long as you're not losing weight because you think being skinny is better.
Skinny.
Your
Yes.
Welsh is coming out.
Yeah, as long as you're not losing weight because you think being skinny is better and worthy, then fine. But I know that if I lost weight, because I wanted to feel better in myself, it wouldn't be because I hate being fat, because I'd still love being fat. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you can lose weight and be body positive because you're not initially losing weight to become skinnier. There's a lot of reasons behind it. So I think you can.
I also think losing weight is separate from, like, I want to get skinny. Because, like, even if someone sets out to lose weight, like, that's a different thing for different people. Like, you can't just, like, all of a sudden decide, all right, I'm gonna go from 400 pounds to 180, and that's, like, my goal. Like, what is that? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, that's not how this works.
Put it this way, you probably aren't going to be happy if you lose. If you are trying to lose weight to be happy, you probably aren't going to be happy. And put it this way, if you're going to go on a diet, like you want to eat 500 calories a day, 90% of diets fail, B. And I'm not trying to say that to be a knob, but it's a fact. So I think it's important to wrap this up because it is, you know, a new year. I think it was really important to talk about this because a lot of people's New Year's resolutions are, let's go on a diet, let's lose this weight, let's get skinny. I think it's just really important to mention you really don't need to go on that diet, darling. You really don't need to lose any weight. Like, you are beautiful how you are. You don't need to look a certain way for anyone. And as long as you love yourself, no one else's opinion is ever going to matter. You got to remember, you can never have everyone liking you. So the only person that should like you is you.
Also, we're in the middle of a pandemic, sis, okay? This is the least of your worries. Okay?
Trust me. Just appreciate your body for being alive, for carrying you around every day. Like, it's you are living.
Yeah, you know, and if you feel as though you're lazy, if you feel like you want to pick up a sport, or if you want to go for a jog, oh my god, I can't even imagine. But if you want to go for a jog, that's fine. Do that, but do not set your New Year's resolution to change yourself because you're perfect. Like, there are 7 billion people on this planet. You don't need to be any specific way. And you are the way you are right now because it's who you are. It's beautiful.
Period.
Preach.
That's the tea. We found
That
it.
is the tea. We have found the tea today, I believe. I really do believe. So, anyone else got anything to say before we wrap it up completely and go bye-bye?
Turn off your suggested ads on social media. Unfollow people that make you feel insecure.
No one has the authority to make you feel bad about yourself except you. So please, give yourself some compassion.
Love yourself.
Accept yourself. Love yourself.
And stop comparing yourself to other people.
Comparison leads to misery.
Literally. Okay, so...
What are we talking about next week? Hold on, let me look.
Okay, have a look.
Let's give them a little sneaky peeky, okay?
Not the sneaky peeky.
A little sneaky peeky.
We do the sneaky peeky and we turn ourselves about. That's what it's all about. Sneaky peeky.
Yes! All right. I love that segue because now I'm Ray. Okay, we are going to be... Oh my god, we're talking about Myers-Briggs next week. We're going to have a fun one, right? We are all going to take a personality test. And we're going to go through... And you guys are going to get to know us on a deep level. Okay, this is going to be fun.
I love you guys and I love everyone that's listening. You are beautiful the way you are.
Also, I just want to say, this episode is the first episode since we came out publicly. And I am just so grateful for the response from everyone. Like, more people are listening than I thought were going to listen. And, like, people are sending us so much love and sharing us. And I'm just so grateful because I love everyone involved in this podcast. And, like, I feel like y'all are so lucky to be able to let in on our little secret family. So, thank you guys. Love you. All right.
Well, that was the tea. We'll see you next week. Love you.
Bye. Bye.